As we were seeing the first signs of spring, it became apparent that Lady Gyokyo was indeed pregnant. That's curious. Can she tell her mother's with child?
How adorable! It might be time for me.
Hey guys, welcome back to Anime Sensei Reaction. Last episode continued building tension around Mao Mao and the dangerous secrets hidden within the Imperial Palace. We saw how her investigations are no longer affecting only servants or small palace incidents, but are beginning to connect with larger political conflicts involving important court figures. Jinshi also keeps watching Mao Mao closely, and it feels more obvious than ever that he sees her as someone extremely valuable inside the rear palace. Another thing I've really enjoyed is how every mystery combines medical knowledge, human psychology, and palace politics all at once. Mao Mao's intelligence keeps exposing truths people desperately try to hide behind status and authority. For episode 22, I'm expecting another intense investigation, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Mao Mao accidentally places herself in real danger because of how much she's uncovering lately. Let's jump into today's episode.
Even if someone did propose, I doubt she'd be allowed to leave. That's the cost of being too good at one's job. The days here are fulfilling, and they truly do seem to fly by. In comparison, the 2 months spent at Master Jinshi's office felt like forever. Do you want to draw some more pictures? The woolly milk cap mushroom, very poisonous.
Normal flowers, if you don't mind.
Normal flowers, huh?
Blue roses, you say? Indeed. I suppose you have never encountered them before. When you see those petals the first time, you never forget. Nothing else can compare to them. It's odd. They once adorned the palace, but not anymore.
Perhaps you dreamt them up. I'm absolutely positive they don't exist.
I assure you they certainly do. I'd love to appreciate them again, so... What do you think? Are you up to the task? A man with your kind of power, nothing's outside the realm of possibility.
I understand. If such a rose does indeed exist, I would like to see it as well.
Well, then it's settled. My goodness, it's hard to contain my excitement. If you'll excuse me. I'll see you at next month's garden party.
As if you weren't busy enough. Here you go, taking on more work.
I know. Ask around. Surely one florist knows the secret.
Spring arrived so quietly that most people in the inner palace barely noticed the season changing at first. The icy traces of winter slowly disappeared from the stone pathways, thin green shoots emerged from the gardens, and the heavy air that had lingered for months finally began to soften. Yet while nature renewed itself outside, the greatest change within the palace walls came not from the flowers or the weather, but from a single rumor that spread faster than wind through silk curtains and painted corridors. Gyokuyu was pregnant. At first, the whispers remained cautious, passed discreetly between attendants and ladies in waiting who lowered their voices whenever footsteps approached. But before long, the truth became impossible to hide. The atmosphere surrounding Gyokuyu shifted in subtle ways. Servants moved more carefully around her chambers. Meals were prepared with greater attention. Even the emperor's gaze lingered on her with a protectiveness that had not gone unnoticed by anyone nearby. Strangely enough, the person who seemed most aware of the unborn child was the little princess herself. Though she was still too young to understand concepts like siblings or heirs, she instinctively gravitated toward her mother's stomach. Whenever Gyokuyu sat down to rest, the child would toddle over with curious determination and wrap her tiny arms around her mother's abdomen as though listening to something hidden inside. Sometimes she pressed her cheek against the fabric, humming softly to herself in complete contentment. The sight was so innocent that even the sternest attendants found themselves smiling. Hongyang watched those moments more carefully than most. Beneath her usual composed expression, there was something fragile hidden in her eyes whenever she looked at the growing family before her. For just an instant, she allowed herself to imagine a different future, one untouched by palace duties or endless obligations. Perhaps somewhere beyond the imperial walls there could have been a home of her own, a husband, maybe even children. But the fantasy never lasted long. Reality always returned quickly. She knew far too well how valuable she had become within the palace. Women with her intelligence and skill were not easily replaced. The palace consumed useful people and rarely released them. Even if someone wished to marry her, even if she herself desired it, there would always be resistance.
Setting aside the blue aspect, first, roses aren't even in season.
Sorry to call on you so suddenly. The truth is, I may have promised to have blue roses decorate the palace again.
And you thought of me? I am just an apothecary.
Oh yes, I'm well aware.
I wonder what prompted this. It's got him exhausted. Roses, huh? I do know a thing or two about them. Before coming here, I sold them with the courtesans to make some quick cash, but... And you're certain that they specifically said blue?
Yes.
Were they under the effects of a hallucinogen?
Are you insinuating we have a drug problem?
Master Jinshi.
So it's impossible.
When does this miracle need to be performed?
Could you find some by next month's garden party?
Next month? Roses aren't in season for another 2 at the earliest.
I know. I'll find a way to turn him down.
Huh. The way Master Jinshi's reacting, in this manner of someone forcing an impossible task on another person. Let me guess, this challenge was brought up by a certain strategist who will go unnamed.
Yes.
In that case, I'll take it on.
Are you sure?
I don't know if I can manage it, but I'll do my best. I refuse to keep running from him. I might as well smash that stupid monocle off his dumb smirking face. However, I need you to make a few arrangements on my behalf. You're most kind for allowing me to use it. Thank you, Lady Lihua. I'm in your debt.
It's quite all right. After all, you were the one who had it
Her competence had become a cage disguised as honor. Elsewhere, Ma Mao found herself reflecting on something much simpler: time. When she stayed near Jinshi, every single day somehow felt stretched unbearably long. His endless schemes, strange requests, and unsettling beauty made ordinary hours drag into exhausting experiences. Yet recently, surrounded by constant work and unfamiliar tasks, the days had begun slipping away almost too quickly to notice. It was not because her burden had lightened. If anything, she had become busier than ever. But her thoughts remained occupied from morning until night, leaving little room to feel the passing of hours. It was during this period of restless activity that Lacan appeared before Jinshi once again. As always, his arrival carried with it a strange pressure, as though the air itself shifted around him. He spoke casually at first, discussing trivial matters with the detached amusement of someone who viewed the world as little more than an entertaining puzzle. Then, without warning, he brought up an unusual request. He wanted to see a blue rose. Not a painting, not dyed fabric shaped like petals. An actual blue rose. According to him, such flowers had once existed within the imperial palace long ago. Whether the story was truth or legend remained unclear, but Lacan spoke with unsettling certainty. There was even a trace of nostalgia in his voice, as if he were remembering something deeply precious buried beneath layers of cynicism. He claimed he wished to witness that beauty again before the upcoming banquet. Then, with complete confidence, he implied that Jinshi would naturally find a way to make it happen. The conversation ended there. Lacan departed as calmly as he had arrived, leaving behind only impossible expectations. Jinshi remained silent long after he was gone. A blue rose did not simply sound rare. It sounded absurd. He had never seen one, never heard reliable records of one, and no merchant within the empire had ever traded such a flower. Still, dismissing Lacan outright was dangerous. The man's intelligence bordered on terrifying, and requests from someone like him rarely lacked hidden meaning. For days, Jinshi searched tirelessly for answers.
Constructed in the first place.
That was a while ago. Back then, I had a steam room built for the consort, to help with the healing process. Now I'm borrowing it for this project, but I'd feel bad using it for free. So, this is the Emperor's favorite book.
I'm sure we'll both appreciate this.
I'm glad I sent away for a new manual from the brothel.
Take that side.
Yes, sir!
Master Jinshi.
Ah, you've arrived. I had them make the necessary adjustments. But how will this help?
We're going to make the roses go mad.
I beg your pardon. What does that mean, Apothecary?
The light enters from there, and steam blows inside from the slats in the wall. The roses will grow in this warmed room. If we can't wait until the right season, we'll fool the flowers into thinking it's time to bloom.
By forcing them to go mad, right?
In theory, but no promises.
Reunited at last!
Xiaolan?
Let me carry that. Is your leg doing okay?
Looks like they found me a chaperone. They've been telling me not to push myself. I guess they got fed up. It's fine. Sorry to make you help.
Don't be. It's been a while since we teamed up.
Far too long. We brought in over 100 roses. This should be the last one.
Wow, there's so many!
We diversified the species, selecting early blooming ones.
Rangers were dispatched across the capital. Flower merchants, gardeners, and scholars were questioned. Every rumor was investigated, yet the results remained the same. No one possessed a blue rose. Most people laughed at the idea altogether. Eventually, left with no better option, Jinshi summoned Mao Mao. She listened quietly while he explained the situation. Her face revealed almost nothing, though internally she found the request ridiculous. During her years in the pleasure district, she had encountered countless flowers used for decoration, seduction, or symbolism. Courtesans often spent outrageous amounts of money on rare blooms to impress wealthy clients. Yet never once had she seen a naturally blue rose. Half seriously, she suggested that perhaps whoever claimed to see such flowers in the past had been under the influence of hallucinogenic substances. Jinshi did not appreciate the joke. If such substances were circulating among nobles, the implications would be catastrophic. An empire could collapse from corruption hidden beneath harmless pleasures. But regardless of whether the historical blue roses were real or imagined, one fact remained unchanged. Lacan expected them to appear at the banquet. Mao Mao considered the problem carefully. The timing alone was disastrous. Roses were nowhere near blooming season. Even if blue roses somehow existed, obtaining them naturally would already be difficult. Producing them this early bordered on impossible. For a brief moment, Jinshi seemed ready to abandon the entire matter. Even he recognized the absurdity of the request. Then Mao Mao paused. The name Lacan lingered in her thoughts. Normally, she preferred avoiding him whenever possible. Every interaction with him left behind frustration, irritation, and emotions she struggled to define. But this time, something inside her shifted. Rather than fleeing his influence, she suddenly wanted to challenge him directly. She wanted to shatter that infuriating confidence he always carried. She wanted to force surprise onto the face of a man who acted as though he already understood every outcome before events even began. And so, against all logic, she agreed. Once her decision was made, Mao Mao moved quickly. She approached Lahua and requested access to a special.
When possible.
You think they'll flower?
After all this work, I hope so. Maintaining the temperature requires the utmost care. Even though I've been provided assistance, it's a difficult task to delegate to others. If we make a mistake and kill them, that would be the end of it. On sunny days, we bring them outside to expose them to the light.
That must be so refreshing.
Yeah.
How's everything going?
Hmm?
I've brought a gift.
You read my mind.
This is the life! Not only am I skipping work, but I get free snacks too!
What we're doing counts as work. Huh?
They're watching us.
Yes, maybe they're just curious. Or they love being scared.
So, what do you want me to do next?
If a seedling has a lot of sprouts on it, pick a few off. It helps concentrate the nutrients into the remaining ones, and can also prevent sickness.
That's a big fella.
I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
We have to hurry!
No blooms yet. It's sure taking them a while.
The cold days are the worst.
Room that had previously been constructed according to her specifications. At the same time, she carried with her a curious book purchased from the Pleasure District, intending to present it to the Emperor for entirely separate reasons. Though the book itself had little connection to the roses, it reflected Mao Mao's habit of intertwining practical concerns with strange side interests only she fully understood. When she finally explained her plan to Jin Shi, it sounded deceptively simple. She would not create a blue rose naturally because such a thing did not truly exist. Instead, she would manipulate ordinary roses and force them to bloom ahead of schedule. The special room she requested became the key. Its ceiling allowed sunlight to enter freely during the day, while heat from nearby steam baths could be redirected inside to maintain warmth throughout colder nights. By carefully controlling the environment, she intended to convince the plants that spring had advanced far beyond reality. Essentially, she planned to deceive the flowers themselves. Even then, success remained uncertain. Temperature fluctuations could kill the plants overnight. Too much moisture would invite disease. Too little warmth would halt growth entirely. Everything depended on constant adjustment and relentless attention. Concerned about her still healing leg injury, Jin Shi and Gao Shen assigned Xiaolan to assist her. Mao Mao also requested 100 rose bushes, focusing especially on varieties known for early blooming tendencies. The work began immediately. Although Xiaolan helped with transportation and daily maintenance, the most critical responsibilities belonged solely to Mao Mao. Every hour required careful monitoring. During sunny afternoons, she moved the pots outdoors one by one so the roses could absorb maximum light. At night, she checked the warmth repeatedly, sometimes waking several times before dawn to ensure the temperature had not dropped too far. The labor became exhausting almost instantly. Yet Xiaolan adapted to the unusual assignment with surprising enthusiasm. Compared to her ordinary duties, caring for flowers felt almost luxurious. She received decent meals, avoided harsh supervision, and spent her days learning strange techniques from Mao Mao. To Xiaolan, the entire experience
I stay up all night maintaining the heat. Too bad you can't control the weather.
You pulled another all-nighter?
I slept right around dawn.
That was literally moments ago. I'll do what I can on my own. You need to get some rest.
No, I can't leave you.
They're looking at us again.
They've been showing up nearly every day. How annoying. wonder if I can divert their attention.
Oh, wow! So, this is what a manicure looks like.
Everyone does it in the Pleasure District.
I can sure see why. Your nails! You did them too, Mau Mau? They're looking so cute!
It's been in fashion recently.
Yes, very popular. Especially among the high-ranking concubines. They decide what's in vogue.
Seems like a waste of time.
Lady Hongyang prefers work over trends. Now that I've finished tasting for poison, I should go back to the Crystal Pavilion.
So soon?
The garden party is approaching.
I see. Oh, before you leave, sadly, Lady Kyokyo won't be attending. We're letting the focus of this event be Lady Lo Lan's introduction.
And to hide the pregnancy. Understood. I'm off.
Resembled an adventure. Under Mau Mau's guidance, she learned how to trim away weaker buds so nutrients would strengthen healthier ones. She discovered how airflow reduced disease and why overcrowded leaves encouraged rot. Though inexperienced, she absorbed knowledge quickly. She also proved remarkably fearless when dealing with insects. While palace eunuchs recoiled in horror at the sight of caterpillars or beetles clinging to the plants, Xiaolan plucked them off casually with her bare fingers. Her small frame and cheerful personality made people underestimate her resilience, but beneath her innocence was a girl accustomed to hardship. Days blurred together beneath constant work. Ma Mao slept little. Cold evenings forced her to continuously maintain warmth inside the room, while mornings began before sunrise so the flowers could receive enough light. Her body grew increasingly strained, yet she refused to slow down. As if exhaustion itself were not enough, Liwa's attendants constantly hovered nearby out of curiosity. They whispered among themselves, interrupted her concentration with endless questions, and treated the project like entertainment. Eventually, Ma Mao devised a solution. If the attendants needed distraction, she would give them one. She began painting Liwa's nails. At first, the attendants merely watched with interest as colored polish spread delicately across the consort's fingertips. But fascination quickly transformed into obsession. Trends within the palace spread downward from high-ranking consorts like ripples across water. Once Lahua displayed painted nails, every attendant immediately wanted the same treatment. Soon the women who had previously crowded around the roses became entirely consumed by cosmetics and decoration instead. Hongyang, however, remained unimpressed. She considered painted nails impractical and troublesome, especially for women expected to perform daily tasks efficiently. In her eyes, beauty that interfered with work held little value. Ma Mao barely cared either way. To her, the entire fashion trend existed primarily as a convenient distraction. Still, even while managing the roses, she could not neglect her official duties as poison tester. Meals still required examination. Suspicious substances.
Hold on! Is everything alright at the Crystal Pavilion? Every day you're looking worse for wear.
Just don't push yourself too hard.
I'll be careful. A flower bud?
Yes, I found it just now! We got one to grow at last!
At this rate, we might make it just in time.
Mau Mau? Mau Mau? Wake up!
Has the apothecary sent word?
No, nothing. I haven't been able to visit her for the past few days.
Well, we've both been busy preparing for the party.
Master Jinshi.
It's Master Shisho's daughter, concubine Lolan.
Simply splendid. Regarding concubine Lola, is she to your liking?
Still needed identification. The people around her increasingly worried about the toll such relentless work was taking on her health. Meanwhile, Gyokuyu quietly prepared to avoid the upcoming banquet altogether. Her pregnancy remained a closely guarded secret, and public appearances carried unnecessary risk. For now, concealment offered greater protection than celebration. Then finally, after endless days of unstable weather and sleepless effort, Mamao saw the first undeniable sign of success. A single bud appeared, tiny and fragile, barely visible among the leaves, yet unmistakably alive. For Mamao, it was enough. The impossible had begun moving toward reality. As the outdoor banquet approached, the palace transformed into a spectacle of luxury. Silk banners fluttered beneath the spring sky, musicians filled the air with elegant melodies, and nobles gathered in layers of embroidered garments designed to display wealth and status more than practicality. This banquet carried particular importance because it marked Lulin's first major public appearance. The moment she arrived, attention shifted toward her immediately. Her beauty seemed almost unreal beneath the sunlight, refined yet distant in a way that made people hesitate before approaching. Conversations softened around her. Even seasoned nobles struggled to hide their admiration. Then Jinshi appeared, and everything changed. Servants carefully carried the long-awaited roses behind him, their unnatural blue petals capturing attention instantly. Gasps spread through the gathering like wildfire. Nobles stared openly, some in amazement, others with visible disbelief. But admiration was not the dominant emotion directed at Jinshi. It was envy. Many found it unbearable that a eunuch, no matter how beautiful or capable, continued accomplishing feats that surpassed ordinary men. Jinshi's existence alone already provoked resentment within countless hearts. The blue roses merely intensified those feelings further. Jinshi noticed every hostile glance but remained outwardly calm. In truth, he considered envy useful. Jealous people revealed themselves easily. Their bitterness created openings that could later be exploited politically. What concerned him more was the expression
Or needs improving. And please hold nothing back, my emperor.
If you would.
Oh. Blue roses. Oh, it can't be.
If I may be so bold, please enjoy the beauty of these buds while imagining how they look fully bloomed.
Indeed, they're beautiful.
Jinshi makes his entrance, and the crowd trains their eyes on him. When a young eunuch hoards all the attention, some officials don't especially appreciate it, no matter how beautiful he is. Lust, I don't mind. It's easy to exploit that. Envy is fine too. That's manageable. But what's really troubling is when I can't tell what's going on behind their eyes. Shisho, concubine Lolan's father, is favored by the mother of the former emperor. Even now, the current one can't look him in the eye. That's why I can never for a moment afford to let my smile fade. And besides, there's one more worth worrying about. That man, Lakan.
What an annoying display.
Are you awake?
Yinghua.
Please don't go back to the Crystal Pavilion. You always look exhausted when you return.
Sorry to worry you.
You're up.
worn by Shisho, Lulin's father. The man stood watching silently, his face unreadable. Shisho possessed enormous influence within the court, supported strongly by the Empress Dowager herself. Even the Emperor treated him cautiously. A single unfavorable opinion from someone like him could shift power balances throughout the palace. Yet despite Shisho's presence, the person occupying Jinshi's thoughts most heavily remained Lacan. Elsewhere within the palace, far from the banquet's elegance, Ma Mao had finally collapsed into deep sleep after pushing herself beyond exhaustion. Her body refused to continue functioning properly after days without adequate rest. Even while resting, warnings reached her ears. Certain palace areas were now considered dangerous for her to wander through freely. Yet anyone who truly knew Ma Mao understood such warnings would accomplish little. Curiosity always overcame caution eventually. Later, once the banquet concluded, Jinshi sought her out to uncover the full secret behind the blue roses. Her explanation proved surprisingly straightforward. The flowers had never been naturally blue. She began with WH. ITE roses and immersed their stems into specially prepared dye mixtures. As the plants absorbed colored water, pigment slowly traveled upward through the stems and into the petals themselves, transforming them from within. The process demanded careful timing and continuous maintenance, but the principle remained simple. Additional precautions were necessary. Leaves had to be removed because they darkened unpleasantly during absorption. The stems required secure positioning so they could continue drawing liquid consistently until the exact day of presentation. The real challenge had never been the coloring itself. The true difficulty lay in controlling the bloom timing perfectly while ensuring nobody exposed the deception too early. To avoid political complications, Ma Mao had already informed the emperor privately about the process beforehand. Rather than expressing disappointment, the emperor found the experiment fascinating. The artificial blue roses amused him more than any natural miracle likely would have. As for historical stories claiming blue roses once existed within the palace, Ma Mao suspected a much.
Excuse me?
You can stay seated.
I'm afraid time wasn't on our side. I was hoping they would have fully bloomed by now.
I just hope you're not apologizing after everything I put you through.
Huh?
Never mind. You did well. How did you do it, though?
All I did was use a dye.
Really? Why doesn't it come off when touched?
I didn't mean on the outside. The color is inside, see? All of the roses we were cultivating started off with white petals. We mixed water with several colors, and had the buds absorb it.
That's why there were so many colors, not just blue.
Right. The leaves ended up turning black, so to keep the illusion, we plucked them off. Afterwards, we simply had to fix cotton soaked in the dyed water to the stems. That way they wouldn't lose their vibrancy during the garden party. It was quite simple, really. In fact, the only difficult part was getting the roses to bloom at all.
Simple, huh? Maybe in hindsight.
Furthermore, because some officials no doubt would have picked a quarrel about this, I went ahead and revealed the entire trick to the Emperor. He seemed to enjoy the fact that he got to know the secret first, and had a good time listening to me explain.
As for the story, about blue roses once being seen in the palace?
Yes, well, my guess, somebody with a lot of free time was feeding blue water to the roses.
Who would do something like that?
No clue. Maybe it was a gimmick for them to court ladies.
That's unexpected. Are you painting your nails?
Yes, but it doesn't suit me. If I had some balsam and wood sorrel, I could have made them look prettier. The former is often used to dye nails, and the latter is nicknamed cat's foot. When mixed together and applied, they make
much less romantic explanation. Some bored noble in the distant past had probably performed the same trick, perhaps attempting to impress a lover or win favor through novelty. Jinshi listened quietly while observing her hands. Her nails were still painted. When he commented on them, Ma Mao dismissed the decoration casually. She claimed more vibrant dyes could easily be produced from crushed balsam flowers mixed with oxalis. Compared to true medicinal experimentation, nail coloring interested her very little. Still, despite her indifference, the painted nails created a strange contrast against her roughened hands. Years of labor had left small scars and hardened skin across her fingers. Her little finger remained slightly crooked from old injuries. The decorations did not erase those imperfections. Yet somehow, they suited her anyway. Meanwhile, beneath the surface of the palace celebrations, another game unfolded entirely inside Lacan's mind. To him, people rarely appeared human in the ordinary sense. Men resembled black stones on a board. Women became white ones. Subordinates functioned like strategic pieces in military games, useful only according to placement and potential. He viewed war, politics, and relationships through identical logic. Arrange every piece correctly, and victory became inevitable. That certainty had defined his life for years. But on this particular day, something disrupted it. At first, his vision merely flickered strangely. Among the countless colors surrounding the banquet, one shade intruded sharply enough to break his concentration. Red, bright red. For an instant, he almost mistook it for illusion. His unusual perception often distorted reality in peculiar ways. But then the color sharpened into focus. Painted nails. And standing before him was Ma Mao. She deliberately raised her hands where he could see them clearly. The vivid red stood out against everything else around her like blood staining fresh snow. One hand represented one side of the board. The other represented another. A challenge. A declaration. For perhaps the first time in years, Lacan hesitated. The man who treated human lives like predictable game pieces suddenly found himself unable to read the board before him.
Fingernails a vivid red. But even if I made them prettier, these look better than before. The item I asked about. I see you found it.
Yes, as you requested.
Thank you, Master Gaoxuan. At last, the stage has been set. And now, all I have to do is catch that nasty creep off guard.
How vexing. I didn't anticipate my provocation to fail. From my perspective, most humans only look like ghost stones. Men are black stones, while women are white ones. Even my subordinates in the military only appear as chess pieces, at best. Most of them are soldiers, or rather, pawns. However, as they continue climbing rank, they become cavalry and cannons. Working in the military is easy. I just need to know where to place the pieces. As a matter of fact, most wars can be won on that principle alone. It's easy for me. If I were useless in every other regard, my ability to position others would ensure the work would get done. My eyes hurt more than usual today. A red keeps flickering into view. So many manicures. The ones from my memories aren't this overly flamboyant crimson. They're the soft hue, the color of balsam.
Next time, balsam and wood sorrel.
Alright, everyone, that is for today's reaction on Anime Sensei Reaction. Thank you for so much for watching and spending your time with me. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notification so you won't miss any the you won't miss the next reaction. Let me know your true favorite moment and break it down in the comment because I always love reading what you guys think. We still have a lot of amazing anime moments, crazy battle, emotional scene, and unexpected trip coming soon on the channel. I truly appreciate all the support, and I can't wait to watch more anime together with you all. Take care everyone, and I will see you in the next reaction video.